Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Tom.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Hi, Sandra.
Can you hear us, Sandra?
Can you wave at us if you can hear us?
This is Kent, I hear you.
Oh, hi,
I
Ken.
can't. Oh, she's connecting to audio now, it says. Hi, Sandra. You got yourself muted.
There we go.
There you go.
There you
Hello.
are.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, and you?
Oh, good. So crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Michelle, how's everything going with the elections?
Awesome.
Good to hear.
We are really having a good flow down there. It's really something.
Oh, really? So are there a lot of people still coming? I thought maybe a lot of people had absentee.
It's busier now than it was this morning.
Okay. But it's a steady flow, so there's not too many people and it seems to be pretty safe.
Yes, they are. They're fine with having to wait outside because it's not raining. So
Yeah. It didn't rain, did it? I saw at least the thunderclouds kind of rolled over here, but it did not rain.
right.
Okay, great.
We got some brief rain here in Brookfield, but otherwise, what a beautiful day.
It was gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle, you've been at the polling booths all day, right? So you've been able to be outside and kind of having the windows and doors open. That must have been so helpful for everyone.
I let the National Guard take care of outside for me.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Great.
Michelle, Kent was saying that they weren't in uniform?
They are in civilian clothes, correct?
Yeah.
Is everybody planning on attending today then?
I think all but one, right, Tom? No?
No, I even saw Jim Barron accepted the invitation, so he's the one I hadn't heard from, but he accepted the invitation.
Yeah, if you haven't done Zoom, I'm sure it's kind of interesting. Have you guys done it? A few other meetings with the city, or is this the first one?
Yeah, no, I'm in a series of meetings throughout the week, every week, and most of them are done on Zoom.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing some catch ups with friends that way.
Sandra, have you used this a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I had it on my computer, but I have a Mac, and so we took it off with all of the security breach information that they were saying. So I'm
Yeah.
using I'm using Marcus's computer right now since he doesn't have a Mac. So,
Okay.
yep, but no, I've used it before. So while we're in the meeting, I'll mute myself so that you guys aren't interrupted by me coughing or anything like that. Not that I'm
Great.
coughing, but.
Yeah, so I think we're going to upgrade to what's called webinar license.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And with the webinar license, I guess you can, I can mute everybody and then they can do some kind of wave their hand if they want to talk or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this platform is really popular. I know that almost everybody's using it right now.
Yeah.
So I've used different platforms. This wasn't around when I was working. Uh-oh, my kids are coming into my sunroom right now. Yeah. They don't understand because mommy's not usually on meetings during the day.
I've got adult kids here and I told them they got to be quiet and they got to stay off the internet for a little while.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Yeah. No streaming, no high streaming right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are your kids, Tom? What grade are they in?
The youngest is 16
Uh-huh.
and the oldest is 23.
Okay.
Aw.
So,
You should be more
24.
convincing than that.
24.
hey, Michelle, it's hard for me to keep track of how old I am sometimes, let alone my children. So, no, that's great though that you didn't have a high school senior. I feel so badly for those seniors.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just
I feel like
devastating.
they are totally fine with it.
You think
I
so?
don't know though. Yeah, I do.
I have to, my babysitter is a high school senior at Arrowhead, so I'll have to text her and see how she's doing with everything. I haven't texted her. I haven't seen her for a few weeks, obviously.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things besides graduation too, all the sports and
Mhm.
theater performances and all those kinds of things that got canceled. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I'm going to mute myself and go. My daughter is at the door, so I'm going to mute real quick.
Okay. Welcome, everybody.
I see Jim Barron. I see Jackie Valley just entered in. Kevin Maples is on. Tim Eicher is there. Wayne Dean is there. Oh, I can't hear you, Tom.
Yeah, I think we've got everybody except for Doug, right?
I think so.
I got one more minute here before 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Jim, you got to unmute your microphone if you want to talk. Put your cursor on your screen, and in the upper right-hand corner, it should say mute, unmute.
Mine's on the lower, but you're
Okay.
right. It's pretty obvious.
There's a red slash through a microphone.
There it is.
There
I
you
got it. Okay.
Did Wayne leave? Jim?
There's Doug.
All right, just in time. I'm showing we got 6 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. I'll call the Common Council meeting to order. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
See me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States
of
of
America,
America,
And to
which it
the
stands,
one nation, under God,
and
God,
indivisible,
indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all. All right. Michelle, can you help us with our first virtual meeting roll call, please?
Sure. I'm not sure if you guys can see the participants screen that shows everybody that's on, but it does show who is muted in the microphone. There is an option at the bottom that says you can raise your hand in there. So if you want to remain muted, you can raise your hand for roll call. So here we go. Doug Saloga.
Present.
Present. Jim Barron.
here,
See you. Jackie Valdy.
Here,
Wayne Dean. I think he's there. Matt Grimmer. Kevin Maples.
I know I've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen their names on there. Tim Eicher.
Here.
Okay.
I can see Matt and I can see Kevin.
Yeah. Kent Atwell.
Present.
Tom Hafner.
Here.
I'm going to take a screenshot of the participants and include it in the minutes.
Wayne's here.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go with citizens' comments. And I will go with the people I see on the list over here. And let me know if you have a citizen's comment. If you don't, I'll skip over to the next person. So the first person I see is phone number 646-6220. Is that Alderperson or Michelle or somebody?
I think that would be me.
Okay. Okay. And next, I believe we have, not Marcus Felker, Sandra
No,
Felker.
I'm on Marcus's computer, but I do not have any, I do not have any comments tonight. Thank you.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, then I see Susie Thompson. Susie, do you have any comments?
You're muted right now.
Susie? Susie, any comments?
Can you hear me?
Now
There
we
she is.
can.
You can?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yay. No, I don't have any comments.
Okay, great. Then we'll work down, phone number 271-5838. Any comments from that phone number? Everyone else is an older person, I believe. Have I missed anybody? Okay, seeing none, citizens' comments are now closed. So we'll move on to item 2, new business. 2A, discussion of possible action regarding resolution 2020-03, a resolution to ratify the emergency proclamation approved by the mayor pertaining to this COVID-19 pandemic declaration of state of emergency. Tom, you want to share what we have on that, please?
Yeah, so basically, this is a commonplace action that the city took. It follows in the lead of the state and the county. I believe almost all municipalities, if not all municipalities, have made such a declaration. And under the state requirements, although the mayor has the authority to make the proclamation initially, it does need to be ratified by the Common Council, and the Common Council has the opportunity to amend or modify as part of that ratification as well. So with that being said, my recommendation is to approve Resolution 2020-03, which ratifies the mayor's proclamation as written.
Also move.
I'll
Jim
second.
Barron.
I'll second. It's Tim.
Baron move, you said?
Tim.
Great.
Tim Iker second?
Yep.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
I'd just add that thanks for taking the quick action you guys did. It seemed like it brought the organization together pretty quick. So that's all good.
Great. Hearing no other comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passes. All right, we'll move on to 2B, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 2020-04, a resolution designating emergency responders for the purpose of Family First Coronavirus Response Act and excluding emergency responders from eligibility for the leave provided under the Families First Corona Response Act. Tom, you want to help us again?
Absolutely. So under the Families First Act, it did include a provision for healthcare providers and emergency responders for employers of those people to exclude them from the provisions of the act. The rationale behind that is to ensure that those organizations are able to have proper staffing in the future to take care of not only the current emergency, but any other emergencies that could pop up, tornado, flood, what have you. Almost all municipalities I'm familiar with across the state have excluded emergency responders from the provisions of the act. There's been some difference in who people qualify as emergency responders, but it's fairly common that people excluded police, fire, and DPW. My recommendation is for the city of Delafield to exclude myself as the city administrator, the entire police department, and the entire public works department. Any questions on what that means as far as the act?
Yes. I guess I don't understand why we're doing this, but
So the rationale, Jim, is you would have the potential that, if you have a department in the future that has children that, that are under 18 and that they're not in school, the entire department could stay home and the organization couldn't do anything about it.
okay. I guess I understand that.
Yeah, and
I do know
Fire-
it does impact all employers and in different ways. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lake Country Fire
government,
and
private.
Rescue. Excuse me?
I was just saying it applies to government as well as private companies.
Absolutely. So Lake Country Fire and Rescue, they excluded all their employees early last week. I provided this this resolution and also the policy that we'll be acting on. I provided that to all department heads. Did not receive any comments back from any department heads. I will let you know that I did receive some comments from a couple of the public works employees that were disappointed that they were being considered for exclusion. They felt like the city should have confidence in them that they would respond in case of an emergency, and didn't appreciate that they were being considered for exclusion.
well, if it's your recommendation, we do it. I agree. So,
Yeah, and that recommendation, like I said, it's consistent with what the vast majority of municipalities are doing across the state. I put in your packet some specific examples of other municipalities. In those examples, I was able to identify 2 municipalities, isolated municipalities, that did not exclude any employees, but the vast majority are taking action similar to what I'm recommending. And my recommendation is also consistent with the recommendation of our labor attorney as well. What I did tell our public works employees is both the mayor and I said, you know, we're going to treat employees fairly. And if there are any kind of extenuating circumstances, we can take a look at that on a case-by-case basis. And the city has always had a donation program for extenuating cases of sickness. And in my 17 years with the city, we have not had an example of an employee who has come up with a significant sickness, ran out of sick leave, and has gone unpaid because of it.
aren't we required to post 80 hours of extra sick leave on their accounts?
You can exclude healthcare providers and emergency responders from that.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're right. There's 2 elements that they're being excluded from: those 80 hours, and then beyond those 80 hours, another 10 weeks of receiving 2/3 pay if they need to stay home with a student under 18 because school's out or because they don't have childcare.
I think the idea of doing something with the caveat that we can do a case-by-case basis. I hate the one-size-fits-all nature of most policies. So with the idea that, you know, if something came up that, you know, we could address, in the case that's, you know, someone would need those 80 hours, they would need 10 weeks because there was an accident or there was something in, you know, I would like to have that ability as city council to be able to offer that.
Yeah, I think we do, Jackie. You know, we're definitely going to work with people if they have extenuating circumstances. I'm confident of that.
Jackie, I appreciate you stating that because I'll share that with the employees. But like Ken said, at any time, we can always give more to our employees or consider extenuating circumstances. This action tonight just says that if they choose to stay home, we don't have to pay them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I get that totally. And, you know, government needs to function, as I keep telling people. You know, we have to keep working on a certain level. And obviously we want to honor the rules. And so as long as we are able to address, you know, individual extenuating circumstances so that it's like a for real thing, we can, and I believe we will, then I'm comfortable with the recommendation.
Very good.
So I'll move the motion.
I'll second.
It's Jim Barron moving it.
It's
That
Kevin
Maples,
second. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Passes. All right, we'll move on to 2C, the final item on the agenda. Discussion and possible action regarding a Families First interim compliance policy. Tom, once again.
Yep, and this policy just assumes that, it assumed that you would take the action you just did. So it just puts that into writing as far as excluding those employees. And then for the other employees that qualify for the benefits of the Families First Act, it identifies what those provisions are. And it just provides clear direction for our HR person and also our employees.
I'll move to establish the Families First interim compliance policy.
I'll second.
Great, is there any discussion? I'm sorry, was there any discussion?
No?
Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Oppo- Opposed? Abstentions? Passes. Great. Well, that will bring to the conclusion our first successful virtual meeting. And I
Yay,
shall-
us.
Thank you, Tom, for setting it up. In the future, we'll have a mute button. I can imagine this being more difficult if we have 40 citizens that want to speak, right? So,
All right.
great. Well, thanks for those that attended, and everybody have a good evening.
Thank you, and you.
You as well.
Thank
We
you.
are adjourned at
Everyone.
6:13 p.m. That's a record.
All right, good night, everybody. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.